everybody! Today's video is a quick tip video on spray tans and self-tanner. I'm going to be going over the prep work that I always tell my spray tan clients as well as aftercare. I do have a spray tan right now. It is fully processed and I've already showered once, so what you're seeing is the actual spray tan itself. So I don't have any makeup on or anything, so I thought that this would be the perfect time to film this video. So let's go ahead and jump right into the tips. The prep and aftercare for both self-tanners and spray tans are pretty much the same. So these tips that I am telling you guys right now apply to both, so keep that in mind during this video. What I always tell my spray tan clients in the salon is make sure that you exfoliate and shave either the night before or morning up, and also don't use any types of oils, lotions, makeup, deodorant, anything that's going to put a barrier between your skin and either the self-tan or spray tan. You don't want to do that because once there is a barrier there, the tan cannot penetrate your skin, which means that it probably will not process really evenly, so you're gonna have blotches, and it will also not last as long. So that is something I always stress to my clients, is make sure to exfoliate all the dead skin and then leave your skin dry of any moisturizers, makeup, anything like that. Another thing when either doing your self-tanner at home or scheduling a spray tan, make sure that you know how long the spray tan or self-tanner does process and when you can rinse it off, because until you actually rinse off the product, you have to avoid water and sweating or anything that's going to produce a liquid on your skin. So whether it be rain or sweating, playing a sport, or working out, anything like that you want to avoid. So when you do your self-tanner at home or schedule your spray tan, make sure that the time after that until your next shower is more of a laid back time, that you're not going to be running errands or anything, and you're not going to risk ruining your tan. Even washing your hands, you want to make sure that you're really not getting the backs of your hands where the spray tan or self-tanner is, or else that will create splotches and uneven tones. So make sure that you definitely have that under control before even putting it on. Another thing I did mention earlier, but I kind of want to go more in depth, is making sure that you know how long your tan process is. Whether you're doing it at home or getting it done professionally, you need to know what kind of formula you're using. Is it a rapid formula where you have to rinse it anywhere from like 1 to 5 hours? Or is it a formula where you wear it overnight for like a 16 to 24 hour process, or even like a 12-hour? Every tan is different, so you definitely need to know that before you get it, because you need to be able to schedule a warm water rinse if you need to rinse the tanner off, or you need to be able to schedule when your shower is going to be, so that the tan has the full time to process. You're getting the color payoff that the tan is supposed to be giving off. Another thing to think about before and sort of after is how long is the tan going to last. The tan that I use is Norvell, and it usually lasts, I'd say, 3 to 4 days at the best, but it starts to slowly fade after that, and I usually get like 7 to 10 days myself, as well as most of my clients that actually take care of their tan afterwards, which I'm going to be going over a little bit more in a second. But you do want to make sure that you know how many days it's lasting, so you schedule or do it for the event and you have your tan when you want it. I'm the kind of person that I'm probably only going to get a spray tan or use self-tanner when I have an event coming up, and that's most of my clients as well. Right now prom season is here, as well as weddings, so I usually say that I will do it Thursday or Friday if the event is a Saturday, so that gives it like a full 24 hours to process typically. But you also get to shower it off, and the tan is still going to last a good amount of time. I've had people want to schedule on a Tuesday or Wednesday and their event isn't until Saturday, and I don't personally recommend that, because by that time the tan has faded off just from showering. Even if you are careful and following up the aftercare well, the tan does fade off once your skin cells sort of shed off. So keep that in mind when doing your self-tanner at home or scheduling a spray tan as well. Another thing I do want to mention that I don't personally do is the brands that you use typically have an aftercare line, whether that be face moisturizers, something that's going to put color back in, like slightly like bronzing lotions, something like that, almost like a Jergens, I guess, or like super strong moisturizers and remover products. I know some brands do carry things like that. I personally don't, because I do think that you can do it at home without having to put money into things like that. If you are somebody that has the money to spend on aftercare products and that's what you like to do, perfectly fine. But for me personally, I just think that there are ways to do it at home that I use myself, so that is what I recommend to my clients. So I do want to go ahead and jump right into those tips. Here are a few tips that I do personally when I have a spray tan or self tanner on, and these are also what I recommend to my spray tan clients as well for a longer lasting tan. The first thing I do that I personally think really helps my tan last longer is I do not use loofahs or harsh washcloths. I actually use my hand on the spots where I don't want my tan to fade, so on my arms, legs, stomach, chest area, and I'm really careful with the products I put on my face as well. So the reason I avoid loofahs and washcloths when I have a spray tan or self tan on is because anything that has a harsh sort of gritty texture will start to exfoliate your skin, which does lift off your spray tan. So what I always recommend is just lathering up with a really nourishing body wash, and then just using your hands in those hot spots, and then using a washcloth in other spots where you want a better clean, if you know what I mean. I've actually had my tan last up to 2 weeks doing it this way, to the point where I really needed to scrub it off by that time because it was starting to flake in spots. But for the most part, the tan lasted almost that full 2 weeks, and it was awesome. So that is something that I do recommend to try out if you are not doing that already. Another thing that I do on an everyday basis, but I do realize that some people do not, is use lotion. That's also going to help your tan last, because when you have dry skin and it flakes, that is where your tan is going to start fading. So if you nourish your skin and moisturize it every day, it usually will help the tan to last longer because your skin is nourished and moisturized and will not start to shed those skin cells as fast. So that is another thing I recommend, is using a nourishing lotion after that first shower that you have to help your tan to last longer. And the last tip that I have is for when your tan is ready to come off. I like to use exfoliating gloves. I got mine at Walmart for just a few dollars in the body care section. It's pretty much right where the loofahs are. They're just come in a little pack, and they're gloves that just have a gritty texture on them. So that is what I like to do to remove my spray tans and self tanners as well. So what I like to do is just put the gloves on and get them wet, and then you want to use your normal body wash or even a scrub. You can put like another type of body scrub on it, and then you just want to work in circular motions, almost just like rubbing like this, and that will start to buff off that tan once it is ready to come off. I usually do this a few days in a row, and it comes off pretty immediately, and then you want to follow up with a moisturizer so your skin is not too dry after. So I hope these tips and tricks were helpful for you guys. If you have any that you personally do that I did not mention, go ahead and leave those down below so other people can check those out. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope you stick around and subscribe, and if you are a continued supporter of mine, thank you so much. I appreciate you all so much. Make sure to leave a comment if you are somebody that either spray tans or self tans, and let me know if you tried these tips out and you end up liking them. I hope you all have an awesome day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye everybody.